So today I brought the Saudi newspaper, which has announced the news about the hotline, the AIDS hotline in Mecca, the Holy City, and would like some comments and advice from
Would you first read me the news?
Yes, this is the translation of the news.
The AIDS on a hotline in the holy capital.
Hotline?
Yes. Telephone.
The Holy City of Mecca from Hassan al-Alawi. Saudi Arabia joined forces with other countries of the world on their celebration of the Worldwide AIDS Day on Monday, the 1st of the coming Shaban. That was the 1st of December 1997. On this occasion, the health authority in the holy capital has decided to dedicate a hotline to reply to the questions and queries of the citizens and residents in the city regarding this fatal disease, which is considered to be the plague of the era, which scientists and doctors failed to find remedy for. Dr. Mursi Abdurrahman and at Al-Malik Fahd Hospital in the Holy Capital will take charge of replying to the calls of men and women inquiring about anything relates to this disease on the following hotline number.
No, they may celebrate the day, but there is nothing for us to celebrate on this. The fact is that this is very pathetic that such a disease should attack the holy cities of the Muslim world. And I don't know if they have taken any specific measures to forestall this epidemic to spread. It is an epidemic in the sense that the immorality has become epidemic. So the consequences are also epidemic. Someone who has lived in Saudi Arabia for a long time, he had once reported to me, which was difficult to believe. I hope you are not right. But what he said was that because to commit fornication in Saudi Arabia is a big crime, but for the two boys to meet together is not a big crime. So people not only do this homogeneously by their own sex, between their own sex, but also women and unmarried girls, etc., they also do it. So I was amazed, I couldn't believe, but he's a man who would not normally tell lies. To my knowledge, he doesn't tell lies, I mean. So Allah knows best. It was a long time before that this information was passed on to me. So I said, oh, Allah bless them, Allah save them from this. But if he was true, then the AIDS is a very real danger to Saudi Arabia. It may wipe out wide populations when it becomes really epidemic. What happens with the AIDS is that, to begin with, the virus is there, which they call HIV positive. But it doesn't begin to attack the cells violently and voluminously. So it remains there as sort of hiding or behind the shelter of the cell and remaining sort of inactive. This is what they call HIV positive. But when it becomes a hazard for the whole system, then it turns into AIDS. So there is a real danger for the entire world, not only for Saudi Arabia, that after a year or two, or within next 2 years, I should say, before the turn of the century, they will be widely punished by God, and the AIDS will become very active. This is my assessment from some prophecies of Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and some prophecies of Hazrat Masih Maud. So I don't want to go into the detail of all this. I've already spoken. What I'm saying is, it is not something for us to be happy about. To be happy about a crime is not good. I suggest to the Saudian people, if they can turn to Ahmadis for help, we can perhaps suggest some very effective homeopathic treatment to them, which we have tried in Uganda and elsewhere, and most often we have found, also in America and Canada, most often we have found it effective. In some cases it does not work. Allah knows why. But in more than 50% cases, so far to my knowledge, it has worked beautifully. So I can help them. Let them call us bad names, whatever they like, I don't care. But they need human help. And if they do not feel embarrassed or insulted, I think some Ahmadi doctor who would be working in their hospitals, I know there are many Ahmadi doctors who are working in Saudi hospitals who are not directly hit by mullahs. They can suggest to me that through them I could perhaps start homeopathic treatment of many such patients. But the problem is, most of the patients would not go to the hospitals. This is a real problem in countries which want to keep up their face as though they are good people and honest people and good Muslims. So this facade of a society to show the world that they are good while they are not good, this keeps them from reporting to hospitals. And because the AIDS virus does not punish immediately, it can take its time. So they have a false sense of safety and security. But this will not endure. This is my comment, and my advice to Saudians is that they should turn to Ahmadis for help, and inshallah we'll be able to help them. I think I should also mention the medicine which is often used. The actual handling of that medicine and its alternation with another one will not be possible for general public to do. But even if 20% patients benefit from this, why not tell them? And 20% patients, in my opinion, do benefit from this single medicine. And they do not have to alternate it sometimes, as I have come across many patients who need constant guidance. After giving one dose of this, sometimes they require another dose of another medicine, sometimes the same has to be repeated. But on the whole, I think that if we suggest this medicine on television, the one who prescribes will not be responsible, in the sense that this is an open prescription, which is also published in my book. If they want to use it, it's up to them. If they don't want to use it, they should not. But MTA is not responsible for this. So that is why I was hesitating in the beginning to suggest, but now with this warning, that this is just a suggestion which has been also made public in my book on homeopathy. This book will also be translated into Arabic. Within a few months it will be completed and then it will be translated. The medicine is Cilicia. Cilicia in 100,000 potency. That is CM. Cilicia CM. They can obtain it, I hope, from Saudi Arabia, but I'm not sure whether homeopathic is permissible or not. But they can contact Ahmadi friends and they can find out the address of Ahmadi doctors, etc., from their hospitals, and then inshallah they can use this on themselves without telling anybody what's happened. Secrecy is important. So they don't have to write to me or write to anybody. They can get hold of Cilicia CM and that's that. So I will consult some Ahmadis in Saudi Arabia as well to make this medicine available at some places, if possible, if the law permits. Then it will be free for everybody. But many can still benefit by obtaining this medicine from some foreign countries, for instance. We can, in this program later on, televise the addresses of homeopaths of the entire world. Not all the entire world, but many from Germany, many from Holland, many from England, the good companies, which are standard companies and they which prepare Cilicia very carefully. So instead of our being involved or any Ahmadi of the local Ahmadi being involved, if we just publish the addresses of the big homeopathic companies of Europe, then they can directly write to them and get their prescription, no problem. So once they get it, they know the system, then we'll be out. We'll never know what's happening. If they're embarrassed, this is the best answer. And moreover, we will not share any responsibility. The person who needs it should directly write to the companies and get the medicine from the companies. Right? You can suggest some names.
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
And Boric. I think it is Nelson which prepares these medicines. And Schussler from Germany, and Beatty from America, Boric and Duffel. And from Germany there are other big companies. I've just forgotten the name, but these names will be published and written on blackboard and shown in the next program. Okay? I should also tell you that during your translation, my first comment, you made a little mistake. You said that women who are lesbians, women who satiate themselves with a female member of the same sex, a member of the same sex, they are also likely to get this disease. It's not true. What was told to me was this, that women who want to go to men, who like men, they themselves suggest that they should not do the act of fornication, but they can do the other act. So one man is involved and a woman is involved. In that case, it is far more likely for the woman to be infected by the man. because this act causes injuries, and the blood is directly infected by AIDS virus if man is carrying that virus. So that is what you have to correct. Secondly, in my opinion, we should get information and addresses of some established homeopathic institutions here. There are hospitals and educational institutions, etc., and some qualified homeopaths who can prescribe. I don't want to be involved in that prescription at all. So I suggest that in the next program and the next, you find some time to write information about this in Arabic, and that text will be shown on the screen. You may comment on this, that this is the text, this does this and does that. So in that case, we'll be completely withdrawn from this exercise. The suggestion would be finally that these are the names of hospitals and authentic doctors who are qualified to prescribe homeopathic in any potency. You better write to them, and they will keep confidentiality. They are very responsible people, so nobody would know. And all those patients who are likely to suffer from this, who have not become AIDS patients but they are HIV positive, they should directly contact different doctors and institutions here in England or in Germany or elsewhere. So we shall give some addresses. After that, they are free to use it for themselves, no problem. You understand? Normally I give Cilicia and repeat it in an AIDS patient after 1 week. And then, if necessary, after another week. Why necessary? Because sometimes they feel definitely better. And the improvement they feel is so positive that during that period they should not repeat Cilicia necessarily. But if it helps, and then they begin to fall down into the same old the feeling of restlessness and other things, then they should repeat it. Sometimes, I don't know why, but Allah knows best, sometimes it works in case of a husband and does not work in the case of the wife. Sometimes it works in the case of the wife, does not work in the case of the husband. Sometimes the children are born with this disease and they are known to have been completely cured by this treatment. Sometimes they go on suffering, showing their bloated bodies, bellies, etc., and suffering from fever. So I tell their parents to continue this treatment because at least they feel better and life becomes easier after this. So this is what I'm telling you from my own personal experience. A person brought his children to me. He and the mother of the children had both suffered. He was declared AIDS patient, not HIV positive. And so were the children declared. So the children were all right, he was all right, and the children needed some more treatment, but he did not need any more treatment. He had gone to the hospital and they told him there is no sign of any AIDS left in his body. So this is a very good suggestion which I am making, but you follow it only on the condition that you make it certain that you go to some competent homeopathic authority which has been given the license to to practice by their respective countries. Right? I'm glad that you opened the subject. I hope, inshallah, not only in Saudi Arabia, but also in many Arab-speaking countries who listen to our program, they will be able to benefit it, and what happiness if I'm of some service to them.
In the same paper, they mentioned that there is 350 cases in Yemen, which is next door to Saudi Arabia.
They're seeking help.
The same habits,
Yeah.
the same problem.
Yeah.
As far as the method is concerned, I think we should also tell them how to use. Homeopathic medicine is found either in the form of pills, sugar pills, or in the form of liquid. The liquid is prepared from alcohol. That is to say that it is alcohol which has been used for medicinal purposes. Although just one drop of such, or 2 drops of alcohol in half a glass of water or a cupful of water is sufficient to turn the whole water into medicine. So religious objection should not be raised against this, because the amount of 1 drop of alcohol added to half a glass would be practically nothing. And you can eat basketfuls of such water prepared, turned into homeopathic medicine, and you will never be intoxicated. So, according to the law of Sharia, anything is haram, a small portion of which can cause intoxication. But I am telling them that if they add a drop or 2 into a glass full of water and use that as medicine, no alcohol will have any effect on the person who drinks that. He would not even feel the presence of alcohol. And this is not a haram, because you can drink 1,000 glasses of that water and you will not be intoxicated. So this is to allay the fears of those who are overmuch mullah, overmuch, given up to form. But if they don't want to use that at all, the alternative is to just have pills. There's nothing wrong with the pills. No chemical laboratory in the entire world can show the presence of alcohol with which originally the pills were wetted. But then it was dried out. No trace of that alcohol can be found. So that is just sugar. So instead of liquid, they should go for sugar. And a few pills, without counting them, just 5, 10, 20, 30, any number of small number of pills, which should sweeten the mouth of the patient, is quite sufficient. Dose. So after that, after having 1 dose, they should not repeat it in the same day or the day to come, the following day. It should be repeated at least after 1 week. That is how you dispense homeopathic medicine.